welcome back to another video about property management. In this video we're going to look at property accounting basics in the UK. So let's get started. My name is Roxana from Eutopian Lettings and I make videos about property management and online courses as well. I will tell you more about my online courses towards the end of the video, but right now let's just talk about accounting first. There are things you can deduct from your rent and there are things you cannot deduct for tax purposes. According to HMRC, you can deduct expenses from your rental income when you work out your taxable rent profit as long as they are wholly and exclusively for the purpose of renting out the property. And let's have a look at some of those. You can claim expenses for general maintenance and repairs to the property, but not improvements. So if you're replacing something that is not broken just to make it better, you cannot deduct that expense. You can deduct the bills for water, council tax, gas, and electricity. You can also deduct the insurance costs and other expenses that you have to pay as a landlord, like policies for building, content insurance, and public liability insurance. You might also have rent insurance there. You might as well. If it's tax-free, why not have it? And you have more security. You can also deduct the cost of services, including the wage of gardeners and cleaners. So this is in case you hire a cleaner in an HMO. Because in an HMO, for example, you are in charge of cleaning the communal areas and you might get in trouble if you don't. So if you hire a cleaner, you can deduct her fees. If you rent your entire property, you can also deduct lettings agent fee and management fees. Another deduction you can have is legal fees for let of a year or less, or for renewing a lease for less than 50 years. Another deductible expense is accountant fees and ground rent and service charges, direct costs such as phone calls, stationery, and advertising for new tenants. You can also deduct direct costs such as phone calls, stationery, and advertising for new tenants. And the last things are vehicle running costs, only the proportion of use for your rental business, including mileage rate deductions for business motoring costs. So basically, you can only deduct the costs when you do viewings, not for everything, not all your mileage expenses. Okay, and now let's look at the list of non-deductible expenses. Non-deductible expenses are the full amount of your mortgage payments. It says here only the interest element of your mortgage can be offset against your income. However, this has recently changed in the last few years. The property law allows you to deduct less and less of your mortgage. After 2020, you will no longer be able to deduct your mortgage interest from your rental amount. Another non-deductible expense is private telephone calls. You can only claim for the cost of calls relating to your property business, which means if you have a phone bill and you're using your phone for both letting out your property and your personal phone number and you don't have a different one, then you can only deduct a proportion of that, just a fraction. You cannot deduct clothing. For example, if you bought a suit to wear to a meeting related to your property rental business, you cannot claim for the cost. And one last thing you cannot deduct is personal expenses. For example, you cannot claim for any expenses that was not incurred solely for your property rental business. You cannot claim any deduction for any expense that was not incurred solely for your property rental business. Okay, so those are the things you cannot deduct. This section was taken from the HMRC website, and if you want to use an online calculator, check out my video. I hope you found this useful, and before I go, I want to introduce you to my 5-day property management course. It's a free course and it teaches you a few basic things about property management, like certificates, consents that you might need in order to let out your property. In this course, I also teach you how to sign an agreement online, and there's also a video about how to check references and a few other small things that help you be compliant. I also have a tenancy agreement attached in this video. You might find that useful as well. So please check it out. And when you do apply for this course, please sign up to the mail list as well, because if you do that, you will be notified about any changes in law and online tools, because Eutopian Analytics mainly creates content, courses, software and other online tools for property management. We feel like we can help more people if we create these tools that landlords can use when they manage their own property. Thank you for sticking until the end, and see you in the next video.